Turning now to markets a little bit, let's look over at the other side of the Atlantic. How do you see the situation in the United States? They talk about a jobless recovery, but how can you have a recovery if unemployment is still high? Economic activity is about people working, not about collecting unemployment from the government. How do you see the situation developing over there?
Let me start by saying I see the problems in the US related to the problems in the euro area or in the UK. It's a global problem caused by fiat money. Yeah. And so that is the starting point of my thinking. And I would say the fiat money system over the last decades has brought about a situation of over-indebtedness. There's too much debt relative to incomes. And so either you have to write down the debt, or you would have to start printing up ever greater amounts of money for paying down your debt. And the third option, which is once in a while to be heard, is maybe there's a chance of growing out of this debt. And from your presentation, I took the impression that you would think this is not possible, and I share very much this thinking. So the great risk really is that people will see the printing up of ever greater amounts of money as a proper remedy to the debt crisis caused by fiat currencies. And politically speaking, it might be the most convenient way to do it. Economically speaking, it's the most terrible thing to do, to ruin the currency. And if there's a choice to be made, just from an economic standpoint, I would say writing down the debt is the proper way of dealing with it.
Yeah, I would agree with you, because if you ruin the currency or impair or hurt the currency, do things that are harmful to it, you're ultimately hurting economic activity, because the currency is essential for people to interact in a level playing field, or what hopefully is a level playing field, what we call the economy. The currency is central to that. So if you have an impaired currency, you're ultimately hurting economic activity as well.
Yeah, and two things come to my mind. Number one, as you say, ruining the currency is maybe the worst thing you can do, because you destroy interpersonal cooperation. You're sowing the seeds of embitterness, of distrust, and that hurts, of course, economic activity. And the second thing is thinking about just ramping up inflation from, let's say, 3 to 6%, as some economists recommend, doesn't work. It's going to end in hyperinflation, because inflation does only the trick of a coercive redistribution of income if it comes as a surprise. As soon as people adopt, let's say, from expecting 6% inflation, you wouldn't have available the means of this coercive redistribution of income, so you would have to go to an inflation of, let's say, 8%, and then the thing spirals out of control. And again, inflation is not really the option of getting rid of the debt problem caused in a fiat money system. It's a tough choice, but I would say, from weighing the costs and benefits as an economist from the Austrian school, cutting down the debt is the proper way.
Yeah. What are the prospects of cutting down the debt? It just seems that everything is being geared the other direction to try to put more debt into the system. And it defies logic and reason that when you have a debt problem, more debt is not going to solve a debt problem.
It's like kicking the can down the road, isn't it? And of course, so far we talked about, let's say, sound economics, as the Austrians would recommend, and you bring us into the field of policy making, real world policy making. And of course, there are interest groups in our societies which prefer, that there's ever greater amount of debt and money at ever lower interest rates to keep the system going. And many people, not only politicians, but many people have subscribed to this kind of policy. Think about many people holding their lifetime savings in fiat currencies. Yeah. They might prefer, the hope that more fiat money is going to solve the problem over a decision of cutting down and wiping out part of their lifetime savings. And so this is really a collective dilemma. But again, that shouldn't deter us as economists from the Austrian school to come up with a proper recommendation.